What's going on YouTube? So beside me is a pretty important vehicle, and a vehicle that was just introduced. This is the all-new 2023 Kia Sportage. However, this is not just any Sportage, this is the PHEV, the plug-in hybrid. So if you're looking for a full EV, and maybe you're not fully certain about that switch, this might be a great product to look at in between. So we're here at the Chicago Auto Show, and what we're going to do today is take a first look at Kia's all-new Sportage PHEV. All right guys, so we'll start out with the exterior design of this all-new Sportage. Now of course this is going to have a very bold and in-your-face design. However, I've seen this car in person a few times, and I have to say it definitely grows on you in person. It has a cool design that I think is really honestly rare in this segment. I mean, this is going against something like a Toyota RAV4, which you see a million of each day. So I think this is something that a lot of buyers are going to appreciate in their family SUV. Now, let's talk about a pretty obvious thing I want to mention. You see this paint color on this particular model? I think this is pretty awesome because Kia is actually offering this matte gray paint on the Sportage. So I can't think of any other car in the segment that's going to offer you matte gray paint as an option. So that's really cool if you want to kind of spice up your Sportage. Now, breaking down some of the individual elements, we have our big Kia badge up here at the top. Of course, that's their new logo. And then right here in the front and center, you're going to have the new Sportage grille. We have this chrome piece going through the middle, and then we have the rest of it going to be finished in this nice piano black trim. And then lower elements are going to be body color, as well as some of the other lower elements here. Now, as far as your lighting is concerned, this is going to be the biggest element about the Sportage, is this very signature light. As you can see, it is very large and it goes almost throughout the entire front design. This is your daytime running light, and then you're also going to have projector LED headlights right here, and then you're going to have an LED turn signal up at the top. Now you might be curious, is there a big design change for the PHEV? And the answer is not really. There are a few elements that are different, but this is going to be pretty much your signature Sportage look. Now, one of those elements though are going to be these wheels. As you can see, these are 19-inch contrast alloys, and they look really good. I mean, I think these are probably the best looking wheels in the entire Sportage lineup. And it's really nice to see that, because if you're looking at an electrified model, a lot of times they'll add ugly hubcaps. So I really like that Kia has just stuck with the traditional alloys with a nice contrast design. Now, coming up, we do have blacked out mirror caps. We have LED turn signal indicators, as well as blind spot monitoring. And then, as you'll see here at the side, it's going to be your traditional Sportage design. If you're curious about some of the tech specs, we do have another Sportage review on our channel where we had a little bit more extensive time with this particular model. I believe it comes in at 183 inches in length. Check me if I'm wrong, comment down below. Now, up top, we do have a blacked out roof rail. And then coming around to the rear design, I'm a really big fan of what Kia has done here with this all-new Sportage. As you can see, it does have a sleek design, and this very much reminds me of what you get in the EV6. You kind of have this area that kind of flows up and into the taillight. We have our big Kia badge right here, and then the taillight itself is going to be LED. As you can see, we have some nice LED accenting, as well as the brake light is LED, and then you have your reverse light down here. Now, if we drop down to the lower area, you will notice that we have this area right here. This gives it a little bit more of a rugged look. However, there is not going to be any exposed exhaust outlets for the PHEV. Now, it's a plug-in hybrid, so let's go ahead and get to the part that I'm sure you're waiting on, this part, the charging as well as the battery component. So here's your charge port. This is going to be here on the right side of the car. You have a little cap there. And if you're curious about how far this plug-in hybrid can go, it can go 32 miles on a full charge. So if you're kind of counting down on that, 32 miles is a pretty decent amount of range. So if you have a short commute to work, maybe 10 miles each way or a little bit more than that, you could be operating this Sportage as pretty much a full electric car, which is very unique. And also, if you need to take it on a road trip, you have the gasoline motor to take you there. Now, it is going to be a 13.8 kilowatt hour battery pack if you're concerned about that. It's going to be routed down through a 6-speed automatic transmission, and then as far as the engine itself, it is going to be their signature 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. Also worth noting is that all-wheel drive is standard equipment on this plug-in Sportage. Now, in addition to that, you do have 79 mpge if you're looking for that metric. Now, let's come around to the tailgate area. If we open that up, this is going to be an area worth mentioning. So for this all-new Sportage, we are going to have a lot of cargo capacity back here. Once again, I don't really have the exact measurement. We do have a video on our channel that has all those figures. I do know it's above 70 cubic feet, which makes it one of the largest options in the entire segment. So I'm very happy to see that amount of storage space back here. I'm also not exactly sure if the PHEV impedes really any on the cargo space. Just from looking at it, I am saying it definitely does not impede, at least very significantly. Now you're going to have 60/40 split folding rear seats. We have LED lighting here on the left side. We have a 12-volt outlet. Then if we lift up the cargo floor, you will have additional space up under here. All right guys, so I'm inside the Sportage plug-in, and as you can see, we do have a very nice environment in here. Now, there's not going to be a massive change in terms of the design for the plug-in hybrid. It's going to be pretty much what you're used to with the all-new 2023 Sportage. However, there is one change, and I'll go ahead and point that out. You'll see this right here. This is different for the hybrid and plug-in hybrid models. The regular gasoline motors will have just the T-shifter that Kia has. This is going to have the electronic shifter. So whether you like that or not, that's going to be up to you. However, I will say this is the same shifter out of the EV6, and I do like the operation of this. Now, let's talk about some of the other design elements going on in here. We do have a very high-tech and luxurious space. So I'll give Drew a second to hop on in here. All right, so now that you hopped in, let's talk about some of the tech that you're going to get. There is a lot of tech thrown in for this all-new model. So right in front of you, you're going to have the 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster, but that's, of course, not the only display that you're going to see. You'll notice that it's all one piece, the main infotainment as well as this display right here. They're both 12.3 inches, and back in November, we got to look at this pretty extensively with the screens on, and they are very high resolution displays, and they're also going to be running Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Now, as far as the customizability in here as well, you will have the blind view camera, so when you turn signal to the left or right, it will give you a live camera feed. So there's some pretty cool stuff going on in terms of the tech for the screens as well. Now here's your steering wheel. This is your signature Kia steering wheel. It is going to be heated on this model since the plug-in hybrid is going to be on the higher trim levels. And then as far as other features on the door trim, we do have two-person memory seating, and we're also going to have this really nice wood trim. As you'll notice throughout the cabin, we do have this. It's a faux wood trim. Of course, it's not real wood, but it does do a pretty convincing job. It even has a nice texture to it. As far as the other materials, we do have a padded dashboard up on the top. And then if we come down here, this is all going to be a hard touch material. You do have a padded armrest, but it does fit together really, really well. And while we're down here, let's talk about interior storage. Here's your center console. As you can see, you do have quite a bit of space in here to throw your coupons. But look at this, we have a lot of space right here. You can throw pretty much anything you're gonna need here and then right here. But you're like, where are the cup holders? Check that out. They fold out into your cup holders, so that's a really cool touch that we've seen on like stuff like the Hyundai Palisade, and I'm glad to see that they're throwing it in here. We also have this area up here. It's a wireless phone charger, and you can cover it back up. Now, in addition to that, we have heated and ventilated seats. The shifter is going to be electronic, like I mentioned earlier. And then wrapping up the interior, we have an auto-dimming mirror, as well as a panoramic sunroof. Now, the Sportage is one of the biggest offerings in the entire segment in terms of second row legroom, and you're going to notice that back here. That doesn't change for the plug-in hybrid. I do just want to point out a few really cool features. You have this right here, which is a nice coat hook integrated into the back of this seat headrest, so you can hang up all your clothes like that. I'm not really sure how useful that will be, but maybe when we get this as a press loaner, we can try that out. We also have USB ports in the seat backs as well as vents, but really nothing too crazy back in the rear. So let's go ahead and wrap up this video. Now, as far as availability is concerned for the plug-in Sportage, this will be launched later than the other Sportage models. So we're expecting that the regular X Pro model, as well as the hybrid and the regular gas-powered model, will come out pretty early in the year, so Q1 or Q2, you can expect to find these at your local Kia dealer. However, this plug-in hybrid is expected to launch quite a bit later in this year. It is still going to be in 2022, but it will be later. As far as pricing is concerned, it has not been released for any Sportage model. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel already, we would really appreciate that. It helps us get more opportunities like this to be at these events. So please go ahead and do that. Also follow us on TikTok and Instagram, where we have other forms of content. And we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.